Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praises the role of media in fighting COVID-19 pandemic. India asserts its commitment to disengagement and de-escalating the situation on the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 77.65% in the country. International Literacy Day being celebrated across the globe. And Telangana government scraps village revenue officers' posts as part of major reforms in the revenue department. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded the role of the media in fighting the COVID pandemic. Mr. Modi said the media has served people in an unprecedented way by spreading awareness on the COVID pandemic and by analyzing government works and pointing out their shortcomings.
गरीबों को शौचालय देने वाला, अनेक बीमारियों से बचने वाला स्वच्छ भारत अभियान हो, माताओं बहनों को लकड़ी के धुएं से बचाने वाली उज्ज्वला गैस योजना हो, हर घर तक जल पहुंचाने के लिए चल रहा जल जीवन मिशन हो, सभी में मीडिया ने जागरूकता बढ़ाने का काम किया है, सकारात्मक काम किया है। महामारी के इस दौर में कोरोना के खिलाफ जागरूकता अभियान में भी भारतीय मीडिया ने जनता की अभूतपूर्व सेवा की है। सरकार के कार्यों की विवेचना, सरकार की योजनाओं में जमीनी स्तर पर जो कमियां हैं उसे बताना, उसकी आलोचना करना, ये भी हमारा मीडिया बखूबी करता रहा है।
He was addressing the inauguration of the Patrika Gate in Jaipur through video conference. Mr. Modi said the enlightened section of society and writers are like guides and teachers of the community. He said during the freedom struggle, every big name was associated with writing. The Prime Minister also called for inculcating the habit of reading books among the new generation.
आज टेक्स्ट और ट्वीट के इस दौर में ये और ज्यादा जरूरी है कि हमारी नई पीढ़ी गंभीर ज्ञान से दूर न हो जाए। और मैं तो हर परिवार से आग्रह करता हूं कि जैसे घर में आप घर की जब रचना करते हैं तो एक छोटी सी जगह मंदिर छोटा बना देते हैं, जूते रखने के लिए एक जगह बना देते हैं। घर की रचना के समय आर्किटेक्चर को जरूर कहिए कि एक कोना ऐसा भी हो जिसमें अच्छी अच्छी किताबें रखी हो और परिवार के हर व्यक्ति समय निकालकर दिन में एक बार उन किताबों के पास जाए, किताबों को हाथ लगाए, एक आध दो पेज, एक आध दो लाइन जरूर पढ़ने की आदत बनाए।
Mr. Modi also asserted that the voice of India along with Indian products is becoming more global, with the country now enjoying stronger presence at world bodies. He said the world is now listening to India more attentively.
आज जब हम आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात कर रहे हैं, आज जब लोकल के लिए वोकल होने की बात कर रहे हैं, मुझे खुशी है कि हमारा मीडिया इस संकल्प को एक बड़े अभियान की शक्ल दे रहा है। साथियों, हमें अपने इस विजन को और व्यापक करने की जरूरत है। भारत के लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स तो ग्लोबल हो ही रहे हैं, लेकिन भारत की आवाज भी अब ज्यादा ग्लोबल हो रही है। दुनिया भारत को अब और ज्यादा ध्यान से सुनती है। आज लगभग हर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर भारत की बहुत मजबूत उपस्थिति है। ऐसे में भारतीय मीडिया को भी ग्लोबल होने की जरूरत है।
The iconic gate is built by the Patrika group of newspapers on the Jawaharlal Nehru Marg in Jaipur. Prime Minister Modi also released 2 books written by the group chairman Gulab Kothari on the occasion. Governor of the state Kalraj Mishra and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot also attended the function.
Army today asserted that India is committed to disengagement and de-escalating the situation on the line of actual control, LAC. It, however, said China continues to undertake provocative activities to escalate. At no stage Indian Army transgressed across the LAC or resorted to use of any aggressive means, including firing. Army official statement said the PLA has been blatantly violating agreements and carrying out aggressive maneuvers while engagement at military, diplomatic and political level is in progress. Yesterday it was the PLA troops that attempted to close in with one of forward positions along the LAC. After dissuaded by army, PLA troops fired a few rounds in the air in an attempt to intimidate. In an exclusive discussion with All India Radio, Director of Society for Policy Studies, Commodore C. Uday Bhaskar said,
"The tactical situation along the line of actual control in the Ladakh region is troubled. Reports that have come in indicate that the Chinese PLA troops had fired shots to intimidate the Indian army deployed within Indian territory. This is disturbing since it is the first time that shots have been fired across the line of actual control. More so when high-level political talks have taken place at the defense minister level, and it is expected that the foreign ministers of India and China will meet on Thursday. The message to Beijing is clear: India will not be intimidated."
However, despite the grave provocation, Army exercised great restraint and behaved in a mature and responsible manner. The Indian Army says it is committed to maintain peace and tranquility. However, it is also determined to protect national integrity and sovereignty at all costs. External Affairs Ministry today termed the reports in Chinese state media attributing some comments to National Security Advisor Ajit Doval as completely false and baseless. In a statement, the ministry urged the media to refrain from such speculative reporting.
Nearly 33,24,000 people in the country have recovered from the viral pandemic. In the last 24 hours, India witnessed one of the highest single-day COVID-19 recoveries of over 73,500 patients. The overall recovery rate has also maintained its upward trend and has now reached 77.65%. The Health Ministry has said the constant increase in recoveries has ensured that the actual caseload has reduced and currently comprises only 20.65% of the total positive cases. The number of recovered patients has overtaken the active cases by nearly 3.8 times. The ministry said the number of recovered patients in the country has grown over 3 times in a span of 1 month. The Health Ministry also said the sustained high recovery rate is fueled by 9 states and union territories reporting recovery rate of over 80%. These states include Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, West Bengal, Rajasthan and Gujarat, among others. The ministry has informed that aggressive measures towards early identification, prompt and effective treatment and enhanced clinical skills of ICU doctors have actively led to progressive enhancement of India's total recoveries. It said high levels of recovery are being reported from various states and union territories, and almost 60% of the total recovered cases are pooled in by the 5 states of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu.
India has achieved the milestone of testing over 5 crore COVID samples. With nearly 11 lakh tests done in the last 24 hours by around 1,668 labs across the country, so far 5,650,128 tests have been successfully conducted. The country has witnessed significant stepping up in its COVID testing capacity in the last 5 months and currently stands among the League of Nations conducting highest daily testings across the world. From just 160 labs testing COVID samples on the 23rd of March this year, the country today has 1,035 government labs and 633 are private labs. Despite increase in testing, the positivity rate remains less than 8.5%. Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh have recorded a positivity rate even lower than 5%. Health Ministry said that high levels of testing sustained over a period of time in widespread areas has enabled early diagnosis of cases and facilitated seamless isolation and hospitalization. It said this has also led to low mortality rate. Telangana reported 2,392 fresh COVID-19 cases during the past 24 hours, taking the number of cases reported so far in the state to 1,45,163. The state conducted about 61,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate also slightly improved to 77.5%, with 2,346 more persons recovering during the last 24 hours. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 1,12,587. The state reported improvement in recovery rate to 77.5% from 73% a few days ago against the national rate of 77.54%.
In Bihar, Patna District Administration has allowed all shops and malls to open without any curbs on timings from today. Similarly, hotels, restaurants and religious places have been opened. All temples have also been opened after 2 months. Zoo and parks will be open from tomorrow. Cinema halls, swimming pools, entertainment parks and theatres will however remain closed. Wearing of face masks, social distancing, provision for thermal scanning and hand wash or sanitizer will be mandatory for public places. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has instructed the concerned officials to increase alertness regarding COVID-19 in the light of the upcoming state assembly elections and festive seasons. Mr. Kumar asked to ensure distribution of 4 masks and 1 soap to every family in every village in the state as preventive measures. Meanwhile, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 88.67% in the state. In Chandigarh, 232 persons tested positive for COVID-19 and 3 COVID patients lost their life due to this infection, while 295 COVID patients were discharged after recovery during the last 24 hours. With this, the number of persons found positive so far in Chandigarh has risen to 5,995, out of which 3,734 have been cured and 2,184 are under treatment. In Chandigarh, so far 77 COVID-positive patients have died, according to UT Health Department, while 3 COVID patients have lost their life due to other ailments. The COVID care centres functioning under the Siddha Medical Department in Karur, Perambalur and Ariyalur districts near Trichy have been able to function effectively in the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Kamraj, in charge of all the 3 centres, revealed that 87.6% of patients who had been admitted with COVID-19 symptoms had been discharged last month. He pointed out that as against 1,315 patients being admitted in these centres, 1,152 patients have been discharged after successful treatment. Dr. Kamraj reiterated that the Kabasur and Nilvempu herbal concoctions being prepared by the Siddha department go a long way in strengthening the immunity system of people in general.
Today is International Literacy Day. This day is celebrated on the 8th of September every year to remind everyone on the importance of literacy for individuals, communities and societies. This year, the focus is on literacy, teaching and learning in the COVID-19 crisis and beyond. The theme highlights literacy learning in a lifelong learning perspective. A report.
The recent COVID-19 crisis has been a stark reminder of the existing gap between policy discourse and reality. During this pandemic, in many countries, adult literacy programs were absent in the initial education response plans. During the initial phase of the pandemic, schools were closed, disrupting the education of 62.3% of the world's student population of 1.09 billion. World over, around 773 million adults and young people lack basic literacy skills. 617 million children and adolescents are not achieving minimum proficiency levels in reading and mathematics. The issue of literacy is a key component of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals and the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It promotes universal access to quality education and learning opportunities throughout people's lives. With Anupam Mishra, Suparna Sekya, AIR News, Delhi.
Meanwhile, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has urged citizens to teach anyone illiterate living nearby to read and write. In his message in a social media post today on the occasion of International Literacy Day, he called for active participation of everyone towards realization of the dream of a literate India. Telangana government has decided to scrap posts of village revenue officers as part of major reforms under proposal in the Revenue Department. The registrations of properties and other documents have been stopped across the state from today onwards till further orders. State Cabinet meeting held late in the evening yesterday in Hyderabad has sanctioned approval to many draft bills to bring in reforms in this regard. Later, the authorities in the Chief Minister's office have revealed that the Cabinet has approved over half a dozen proposed laws during its meeting, and all the bills will be introduced in the current monsoon session of the Assembly. The Assembly session began yesterday and will continue till the 28th of this month. More from a correspondent.
In a major reform aimed at streamlining the revenue system in the state, the Telangana state government has proposed scrapping the posts of village revenue officers. They are the officials who hold all major land records at the ground level. A draft bill in this regard has been approved by the state cabinet yesterday. State Chief Secretary Somesh Kumar also issued a government order stalling all types of registrations of the properties and other documents across the state from today onwards. The district collectors have also been asked to ensure surrender of all records presently with the BROs to their higher officials. Meanwhile, the state cabinet has given its nod to the proposed new revenue bill and about half a dozen revenue-related amendment bills which will pave way for bringing in reforms in the functioning of the revenue department. Lakshmi, AR News, Hyderabad.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praises the role of media in fighting COVID-19 pandemic. India asserts its commitment to disengagement and de-escalating the situation on the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 77.65% in the country. International Literacy Day been celebrated across the globe. And Telangana government scraps village revenue officers' posts as part of major reforms in the revenue department. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio.
Welcome back. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will be attending the meeting of Council of Foreign Ministers of Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO to be held in Moscow on the 9th and 10th of this month. This will be the third Council of Foreign Ministers CFM meeting that India will be attending as a full member of SCO. Earlier, two meetings were held in Beijing in April 2018 and Bishkek in May 2019. India has been taking active part in various SCO dialogue mechanisms under the chairmanship of the Russian Federation this year. The CFM meeting in Moscow will review the preparations for the forthcoming SCO summit and also exchange views on international and regional issues. The External Affairs Minister's visit to Moscow will include the participation in the Council of SCO Foreign Ministers and other bilateral meetings. COVID-19 pandemic imposed restrictions will have its reflections on the 10-day Dasara festivities in Mysuru this year. In a high-level meeting headed by Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa today in Bengaluru, it was decided to limit the festivities to only essential customs and religious practices. Briefing media persons after the meeting, the Minister for Kannada and Culture, C.T. Ravi, said festivities will be inaugurated by offering puja to goddess Chamundeshwari and concluded with the Jumbo Savari procession within the city palace premises. There will be no sports, youth and food festivals to coincide with Dasara. It was also decided in the meeting to felicitate COVID frontline warriors and to avoid use of any Chinese goods during the festivities.
Amidst high drama, Shiv Sena's Dr. Neelam Gorhe was elected unopposed as the Deputy Chairperson of the Maharashtra Legislative Council today. The opposition BJP had moved the Bombay High Court to cancel the election, stating many of its legislators have tested COVID positive and so they cannot attend the House proceedings. However, Chairman Ram Raje Naik Nimbalkar did not accept the demand and went ahead with the House proceedings to conduct the election. A Mumbai correspondent has more details.
Leader of the opposition in Maharashtra Legislative Council, Pravin Darekar, demanded Chairperson Ram Raje Naik Nimbalkar to cancel the election to the post of Deputy Chairperson. He said that the election can be conducted after the High Court ruling on the matter, which will be heard on 10th of this month. However, the Chairperson said that he would not change his decision and would go ahead with holding the election. Nimbalkar told the Leader of the opposition that the High Court has not summoned him and that he cannot accept the demand of the opposition party. Protesting the ruling, meeting by Chairperson Nimbalkar, the BJP legislators staged a walkout. While in Legislative Assembly, Shiv Sena's Pratap Sarnaik today moved the breach of privilege motion against Editor-in-Chief of Republic TV, Arnab Goswami, for using words which are deemed inappropriate against Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and NCP President Sharad Pawar. The motion was moved amidst ruckus by BJP MLAs, after which the House was adjourned for 10 minutes. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In a series on Atmanirbhar Bharat today, we bring a special story on the bamboo sector in the country, which is witnessing unprecedented makeover. Government has over the last 6 years accorded highest priority to the development of the region producing bamboo in the country. It has given the bamboo sector the much-needed boost to thrive ahead under the mission of self-reliance. Union Minister for Development of Northeastern Region, Dr. Jitendra Singh, has on several occasions given a call to create, curate and coordinate for the bamboo sector for its full exploitation, branding, packaging and marketing in India and abroad.
Governor of Punjab and Administrator of UT Chandigarh, VP Singh Badnoor, yesterday launched the Poshan Maah 2020 for UT Chandigarh online by sharing a video message. In his message, the Governor reiterated Chandigarh's commitment to wipe out malnutrition from the city and called on people to participate in the Jan Andolan. More from our correspondent.
In Union Territory of Chandigarh, Rashtriya Poshan Maah will have two major activities to be carried out at grassroots level, that is identification and tracking of children with severe acute malnutrition and plantation drives for promotion of kitchen gardens. The administration has also launched the Poshan Sanhita, a voluntary model code of conduct for nutrition, which is a set of 10 simple and easy to follow principles for ensuring holistic nutrition of the self and the family. The administration, besides media and online activities like webinars, will also go to people through digital Poshan Panchayats, ward meetings, online Ward Sabha, Prabhat Fairies and Poshan Walk to aware them about nutrition and related activities during the month. Ashwini Kumar Sharma, AIR News, Chandigarh.
As a part of the Poshan Maah, the Social Welfare Department in Assam has taken steps to promote nutritious food through kitchen gardens. Kitchen garden or Nutri Garden will be set up at Anganwadi centres and government primary schools across the state. The idea of the kitchen garden is to plant locally available nutritional food and vegetable plants. The Health and Nutrition Consultant of Poshan Abhiyan in Assam, Dr. Gitali Bora, said that coverage with MG Narega and Agriculture Department is also being emphasized to implement the kitchen garden initiative.
September is being an ideal season for growing vegetables and fruits across most of the part of the India, and a plantation drive portion ke liye podhe for the development of kitchen garden may be encouraged up to the grassroots level, community level, Anganwadi central level and school level also. Focus would be on planting of nutritious seasonal and local plants, trees such as drumstick, brinjal, different vegetables, green leafy vegetables, banana, papaya, tomatoes, lemon, guava, beans, carrot, variety of gourds, turmeric, ginger, tulsi, mint, etc.
In Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha yesterday visited Raghunath, Ranvireshwar and Panch Bhaktar temples in Jammu city and took stock of facilities being made available to the visiting devotees. AIR correspondent reports that the LG paid obeisance there and prayed for peace, progress and prosperity in the UT. Later, the LG also took a walk through the heritage Raghunath Market, Residency Road and Kamal Mandi area, where he interacted with locals, shopkeepers, office bearers of traders associations and inquired about the difficulties being faced by the people and business community due to COVID-19 pandemic. Terming people's feedback as imperative, accountable and responsive administration, the LG urged the people to come forward with the issues and grievances and play an active role in the development process by providing regular feedback on the working of the administration. In a series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. S. Rajeshwari, Department of Anesthesiology, AIMS, has advised people to stay at home and maintain hand hygiene.
We have seen that there is a severe shortage of ICU facilities in the most developed of countries. And in order that we do not face the same calamity in our country, it is vital that we do not stress the health system by becoming more sick and bringing more patients. And for this, I urge that you must stay at home and must maintain hand hygiene to reduce the number of patients coming into the hospital.
Dr. Purva Mathur, Professor Lab Medicine, AIMS, has said that physical distancing is very important to check the spread of virus.
Coronavirus spreads by droplets when a person coughs or sneezes. These droplets do not travel beyond 1 meter, and that is why it's important to maintain social distancing.
Mumbai police have registered an FIR against actor Sushant Singh Rajput's sisters and others for abetment to suicide and criminal conspiracy by prescribing him medicines banned under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances NDPS Act. Riya has accused Priyanka Singh, Dr. Tarun Kumar of Delhi's Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital and others of forgery and preparing a fake prescription of medicines for anxiety for the 34-year-old actor who was found dead in his apartment in suburban Bandra on June the 14th. Father of India's radio astronomy, Dr. Govind Swarup, passed away yesterday at Pune. He was 91. He was admitted to a local hospital due to ill health a few days ago. Dr. Swarup is known not only for his many important research contributions in several areas of astronomy and astrophysics, but also for his outstanding achievements in building ingenious, innovative and powerful observational facilities for frontline research in radio astronomy.
Home Minister Amit Shah paid tributes to singer Bhupen Hazarika on his birth anniversary. Hazarika was a playback singer, lyricist, musician, poet and filmmaker from Assam. In a tweet, Mr. Shah said the music maestro enriched the lives of millions with his music compositions, strengthening social harmony and universal brotherhood. In the US Open tennis, the Indo-Canadian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Denis Shapovalov went down fighting the men's doubles quarterfinal to the Dutch-Romanian duo of Jean-Julien Roja and Horia Ticau in the straight sets 7-5, 7-5. Roja and Ticau will now play Brazilian-Croatian pair of B. Suarez and M. Mavic in the second semi-final tomorrow. The first semi-final will be played between the British-American duo of J. Salisbury and R. Ram and Croatian-Dutch pair of N. Mektic and W. Kulov.
Now a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature recorded in the city was 25 degrees Celsius. Maximum temperature is expected to be around 36 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. The minimum temperature recorded was 25 degrees. Maximum will be around 33. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature recorded was 27 degrees. Maximum expected at around 35 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature in the metropolis was 28 degrees while maximum will be around 36. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature in Jammu was 23 degrees while maximum will be around 34 degrees. In Jammu and Srinagar, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature in Srinagar was recorded 13 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 27. Ladakh will also have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature was 15 degrees. Maximum could go up to 27 degrees. The sky will be partly cloudy in Gilgit and Muzaffarabad and is going to have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature in Gilgit was 13 degrees. Maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees. In Muzaffarabad, minimum temperature was 19 degrees. Maximum expected to be around 33. In Chandigarh, sky will be partly cloudy. Minimum temperature recorded was 25 degrees. Maximum expected around 34. In Dehradun, minimum and maximum temperature will hover between 23 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city is likely to have thunderstorm with rain. In Hyderabad, minimum temperature was 24 degrees while maximum will go up to 35. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature in the city was 24 degrees while maximum will be around 32 degrees. Itanagar is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 25 and 33 degrees. Port Blair is going to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature recorded was 25 degrees while maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees Celsius. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praises the role of media in fighting COVID-19 pandemic. India asserts its commitment to disengagement and de-escalating the situation on the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 77.65% in the country. International Literacy Day being celebrated across the globe. And Telangana government scraps village revenue officers' posts as part of major reforms in the revenue department. And with that we end the midday news.